What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing? Good, good, good. As if I heard you respond. Cat. Damn cat. We are listening to Profanatica, Wreathed in Dead Angels. Profanatica. Anybody a fan out there of Profanatica? I know there's some, but some people probably just don't get into it. That American black metal. I think we had a conversation going in the comments about that. It's damn near black on black here. It's like I love this stuff, and then you look at the lyrics sometimes, and they're like impossible to read. This actually isn't too bad. Yeah, you can read these. Infernal Dominion happened to be the worst one. Black on black and shit. Good album. Fucking impossible to read the lyrics. But Crotch was pretty intelligible in that album. You can kind of understand. Kind of like Corpse Grinder was. Yeah. Profanatica. American black metal. Hell yeah. Profanatica's gonna be at Dead by Dog. We got them right there with the Profanatica. Dead by Dog. Oh my god, that is next week. What? Next week. We're gonna see some real motherfucking metal. I might do a video from the hotel room. I don't know. We'll see what happens. See what happens about getting pictures and footage and shit. We'll see. I'm not promising anything. Cam, you asked me about something. We'll see what we can do. I'm not making any promises, but I'm not saying no. So I'm not saying no to the request. I'm just saying we'll see what happens. And then, yeah. Oh, Goat. My wife was reading your comments. Yeah. She was like, this dude's funny. I like this guy. And I was like, well, cool. You're going to meet him. So she was kind of excited. So, that PBR, Bush. Better watch out, Goat. She's gonna talk to you about that. She's not a fan of PBR, so just be prepared. It's gonna be great, y'all. Oh, so this album's about 20 minutes. So it's like 6 tracks or something like that. About 20 minutes. I think it's less. Lost my train of thought. I'm gonna blame the cat for that one. So people recommend stuff all the time to me. If you guys want to check out something like absolutely weird, like if you're into weird, but you're also into metal, somebody recommended Sigh, S-I-G-H, Sigh. They recommended a lot of other stuff, but the album Gastly Funeral Theater. Gastly Funeral Theater. That's a cool name. I'm not gonna lie. It's a theater, but it's at a funeral. And this is ghastly. So I can just imagine ghouls and shit running around doing a theater production. But it's also a funeral. It's so cool. The imagery that pops in my mind. I'm just thinking like Ravenloft from D&D or Flesh Eater Courts from AOS. But Sigh is like a genre-bending band. Like, each section of the song changes the genre. That's the best explanation I can give it to you. Sigh is weird. Just, I don't know how they wrote that, let alone rehearsed that. That must have been a lot of fun being in the theater for that one. So, person who recommended Sigh, that was wild. But it did feel like it was going to give me an epileptic seizure. So, yeah, I couldn't stay with it. I couldn't stick with it, unfortunately. But I'm glad I heard it. I'm glad I know of it. I'll recommend that to people who are into weird things. Like, I'm totally into that. Like, oh, you like that stuff? Check out Psy. And they're Japanese, I think, which just, apex of weird. Like the highest point of weird. This is the weirdest thing ever. Yeah. Recommend that one to them. See if that one does anything for them. Damn it, I was supposed to get props out for this other one. Oh my god. It's Taka. Taka was asking about favorite martial arts movies. Damn it, they're on the shelf over there and I forgot to pull them down. Well, we could talk about martial arts movies. We like horror. Talk about martial arts. There's that Bruce Lee stuff, Enter the Dragon, and Game of Death, or whatever that one was called. Yeah, Bruce Lee's cool. Jackie Chan's got some good ones. Rumble in the Bronx, Drunken Master, and Legend of Drunken Master. I don't own Rumble in the Bronx. I need to pick that one up, but I do own Drunken Master. I would be showing that to you right now. Legend of Drunken Master. And if you haven't seen the first one, the original one, which is called Drunken Master, it's how Wan Fei Hung, the character, learns how to do Drunken Master style. And then there's Legend of Drunken Master, where he's already the master of it, and then the movie just goes on. Great fight scenes in Legend of the Drunken Master. Acrobatic shit. Jackie Chan type stuff. What was the other one? Oh, Twin Warriors. Jet Li, Michelle Yeoh. Twin Warriors is fucking banging on. I love that one. I watched that one when I was either in a hungover or sick, infirmed state. Probably both. I watched that one, and it was on like AMC or something like that with that host Joe Bob Briggs. Does anybody remember that guy? Joe Bob? I think it's Joe Bob Briggs or whatever. He would host the show, talk about it. His set was like a trailer, and he had like a campfire. He was just some cowboy sitting, cowboy type, western type, sitting there by the campfire with his trailer in the back, talking about the movie you're watching. And Twin Warriors was amazing. That scene where the group gets betrayed by their friend, and then they all die. Oh, that fight scene, that entire battle scene is tragic and beautiful. If you have not seen Twin Warriors, do you like martial arts? Twin Warriors, it's like a must-watch. I dug that one. It's probably one of my favorite martial arts movies, Taka, the Twin Warriors. It's probably my favorite. Besides the greatest of them all, Big Trouble in Little China. If you don't think Big Trouble in Little China is a martial arts movie, that's a fucking martial arts movie. Actually, Big Trouble in Little China, I heard from watching the director commentaries in Big Trouble, that was supposed to be a Western. That was actually supposed to be in like the 1800s, where the dude went into San Francisco in Chinatown, which is where the movie's set. They just did it in modern times. But that was actually supposed to be a Western. I imagine how that would have looked. That would have been awesome. Yeah, man. Big Trouble, rather. That was a good one. Those are just some of my top picks. Some of my favorite ones. The three of them I own. Big Trouble, Twin Warriors, Legend of Drunken Master is the three I own. Love them. But there's also good ones out there. I don't know. I could comment about it a little bit more, but So, I did like Jet Li in Lethal Weapon 4. I don't know why. I guess I like Jet Li's character and just his character only. Like that repentant holy man who had those beads. And then like he whacks a guy and then adds another bead. And then he's just always holding those beads and counting them, and those beads are all the lives he's taken by being this like hitman. And he's like super repentant. That he just keeps them as a constant reminder of his sins in his past. Like, that Jet Li character had to have been the best Jet Li character. The movie with old-ass Danny Glover and old-ass Mel Gibson trying to do Lethal Weapon sequel. I wasn't a big fan of Lethal Weapon. Maybe the first one was okay. The sequels were crap, and the Jet Li was, amazing in that fourth one. But just his character was. I didn't like the movie. I just liked his character. So I wish they'd just done a movie about that guy. Character study on that dude. That'd have been awesome. Anyways, that's good. Yeah, good talking about martial arts stuff. Yeah. I like martial arts movies. Probably more than I do horror, I guess. I just stick with horror because that's usually the people you can find the most, especially in metal. Metal's and horror are just gonna go hand in hand. Metal and martial arts, not so much, but I dig movies. 80s action movies, martial arts movies of all kinds, horror of any kind. I have Human Centipede. Anybody seen Human Centipede 1 or 2? I own those too. Human Centipede, those are fucking amazing, just disgusting films. Like, I need to take a shower after watching that one. Whew. And then you're also talking about listening to other people's music. Like, oh yeah, if they listen to your music, metal, they don't like the vocals. Like 100%, they complain about the vocals. When you listen to their shit, it's monotone and boring auto-tune. We're listening to Profanatica right now. And if you've hung out here any length of time, we also clearly listen to similar tunes. We like more in our music. We like a lot of depth and complexity. And sometimes with bands like Mortician and even Profanatica, like, they're more simple, and not simple music, but they're more, simplified, just to usher in the brutality, just to make the brutality hit that much harder. We like a lot of complexity and depth in our music, and most pop songs, like 1-4-5 chord progressions. It's fucking disgusting. It's just so boring. It's like, where some bands, like, they'll create a good riff or a good melody or something, and it'll be the whole song with a bridge, and then, or whatever, verse, chorus, verse. Those song structures are very simple, bite-sized, easy to understand. People like us get bored. We're like, yeah, that'd be cool, because, that'd be cool, but I just remember listening to metal and going, wow, this riff on this Cannibal Corpse song, this one section of this one Cannibal Corpse song, a pop band would take that one riff and make a whole song about it. And we're like bored to tears by the time it gets to the bridge. Maybe we'll listen to the song and be like, yeah, it's cool, but like on the third or fourth listen, you're done with that song and you never want to hear it again because you know it now. And metal, I listened to a metal song one time and that was good. Spin it again. Guess how many albums I've just played and hit spin it again. I want to hear it again. I could just keep doing that. I'll listen to an album 2 or 3 times sometimes, especially if it's new. But sometimes you listen to an album like Butcher at Birth, one of my fucking favorite albums. I don't need to keep re-spinning that one. I get one good spin on that, and I'm like, yeah. Sometimes I just need to pull out songs like Vomit the Soul or Innards Decay, just to get me a title track or something. Just to get me really excited. Yeah, we just like more complexity in our music. And a lot of modern song production, they EQ and compress the hell out of everything. Like, we like music, especially like Profanatica here, or Sadistic Intent, or Early Incantation. Like, you listen to that stuff, and it's got that live in the studio feel to it. Like, you feel these guys are jamming together. In modern production, they'll do that rough take of everybody jamming, then they'll pull everybody out apart. Drummer starts, okay, drummer, now do a better take, and we're just going to mic and your drums and isolate everything, and then EQ everything, and then maybe sound replace a few hits that aren't perfect. And then they're going to move on to the other instruments and do the exact same thing. Now, while that does give you an excellent sound quality to your album, it strips the soul out of it. Just strips the soul out of it. And there's metal albums that do that. You know, after a while, their production gets so perfected that it loses the roughness and toughness and the vibe. You don't have that with, like, Pro Fanatica. You know, you don't have that with some of those other, you know, bands. You feel like these guys just sat down and cranked this shit out, you know. Like in a modern production, they pull that guitar aside, EQ the shit out of it, maybe do 2 or 3 takes, make a compilation track of the best parts of those takes, EQ the bitch out of that, and compress it so it fits, you know, cookie cutter placed in the mix, you know. And then I love how they'll take reverb and put reverb back in the mix. Like, you had reverb in the room when you recorded this. Why did you strip it out only to put it back in? That's where song production, music production gets, like, absolutely insane. Find a good room, record the room. You know, put the instruments in the room, record the room. That was how I enjoyed doing it, and a lot of professionals that I worked with showing me how to get great sounds, they were like, yeah, we can EQ that. Yeah, we can sound replace. Yeah, we can do all this extra stuff. Yeah, we can put in a different reverb in there. But a lot of them were just so good and so lazy that they're like, just find a good room for that. And then just spot mic and then just record the room, you know, or sometimes just taking overheads and recording the room. That was another big trick that some of the pros did, was put omnidirectional mics in the room and just catch the ambience of the room and then put that in the mix. Man, you get great sounds off that. Now you're not isolating everything and coming back to reverb and EQ it. No, you're just like, mic that, mic the room, good to go. And I'm like, no way that's going to work. And it would fucking work. Now, there's a science behind that. There's a skill behind that. But that's sound production talk. That can get boring for some of y'all. It's like being a mechanic and talking about internal combustion engines. It's boring to some people. But, Taki, we appreciate more complex sounds. And we appreciate more complex ideas. And we don't shy away from the weird. And we don't shy away from the scary. In fact, we're all the motherfuckers who embrace that crap. Now, I know some of y'all out there in the comments, y'all seen and done some weird shit in your lives, and that's why we're all friends. We're all equally weird and different. And I'd rather have y'all than 100 normies. I'd rather have 2 or 3 of you than 100 normies. I heard a guy say one time, he was like, I'd rather play a show for 30 really excited people than 3,000 phones. You know, 3,000 people who are just, Rather play for just 3 energetic people. Yeah, you ever been the 3 energetic people in the crowd? I was. I saw Burial. They played Enlightened with Pain. Probably 15, 20, 30 people in the audience. And they said the night before they had less than that. And they were happy to have us because we were 30 energetic motherfuckers. Saw Mortician with 5 people in the crowd. That was a shame and a travesty, but we were freaking enjoying the shit out of it. We were so happy to have it. So yeah. Pro Fanatica. Got that cat. We enjoying the cat. We like the cat. I don't know. I think the cat's cool. Pro Fanatica, Wreathed in Dead Angels. I love the album title, Wreathed in Dead Angels. I don't like to think of angels as like corporeal beings. I like to think of them as like beings of energy, you know, just like of a different dimension. So if you're wreathed in the angel's skin or something like that, you're like wreathed in energy and stuff like that from another dimension. That shit just is badass to me to think about. Paul Edney's a sick motherfucker, man. Oh, I got a horns up from John McEntee in the comments section of a video he did. That interview with J-Dog. He gave me a horns up. Oh, Oh, so awesome. Shit, we had 20 minutes. The album's still going. Yeah, whatever. Pro Fanatica reads them Dead Angels. Check it out. Cataprod, Appalachian Warlord. See you guys next time.